Well, good morning. How do you plan your garden? Do you just kind of grab a seed catalog and start ordering, or do you maybe just make a quick list, or do you do something a little more formal? Well, let me show you what I do so that you'll have that knowledge, and you can if you want to, and if you don't, that's fine. All right. Now this is what I do. I have a little notebook here. I bought this at Dollar General. I spent all of $1 on it. Then I went and got some graph paper, which handily is lined on the other side of the sheet. I think I may have spent $2. So for $3, I put this together. Here's 2023. I've drawn out my beds. This year I'm doing straw bales and trying straw bale gardening. And I do have some buckets on the ends for carrots. But I've drawn out my beds. I've made some notes on here across this area and across these two beds. I'm putting in cattle panel arches. Okay. Then I went and numbered where I'm planting different things. Okay. Like right here, number 1 on this bed and number 2 on that bed are spaghetti squash and buttercup squash. I'm going to plant those where they grow up the arches. And here on these two beds with an arch going across them, I'm planting climbing beans, and I'm planting pickling cucumbers. Like pickles, I like making pickles. Don't like raw cucumbers. So all right, I just went along and planned everything I was going to do, and I made a list here of the varieties so I know what I have to have seeds for. After I've made the list of varieties, I can look if I've got leftover seeds. I can go through the leftover seeds from years past. Maybe I've got some of these items, and so I don't need to order. But if I don't, it's very easy to turn around. And in my case, I grabbed my phone, went online, went down the list, ordered the items I needed. It was simple, it was fun. I think it's important. I make notes as I go through the growing season. If the variety did really good or a variety didn't do really good, or something I want to do different next year, might be anything garden related, but I've got room to make a note. If I have to, I'd flip to the next page, you know. One thing that I'll give you a good example of why you might do that, okay? I plant carrots in 5-gallon buckets. I've always done this. I like it. It's easy. You can pick that 5-gallon bucket up. You can set it on top of your wheelbarrow and get in there and thin them, you know, without bending over or crawling around on your hands and knees. You've got, you know, this much soil that you know there's no stones in it because you put the soil in there. So, and you know it's not hard and compact here again because you did it, you know, so that's what I do. Well, about 3 years ago, I grew 2 different varieties of carrots, and one did really well and one really didn't do very good at all. I'd like to reorder that one that did really well, but I don't remember what it was. Well, in this case, see, if I was doing this back then, it would have been easy. I could have gone back, seen what carrot seeds I ordered. That might be enough. But in this case, if one of these does pretty good, I'm going to make a note. And if one of them doesn't do good at all, I'm going to make a note for that too. So then ongoing, I can try different varieties and find that variety that just gives me just what I want. So that's a good reason for planting a garden on paper and having it be in a book where it becomes a record. Another reason is I can look back last year and see where things were planted. And now in this case, it doesn't matter because it's straw bales and I'm going to bring them in and, you know, but next year I might want to know where I planted corn or where I planted the nightshade stuff so I can move it and have it in a different bed next year. Okay, because nightshades tend to get blight and then it'll be in that soil right there. If you move it to a different bed next year, no blight. And you can keep doing that until maybe 3 years later, it comes back to the first bed. Well, by then the blight's gone. So it really works for you. So anyway, it's another good reason for keeping a note. In the first place, I've got time. I'm writing this all down. I'm doing a careful plan. So I get all my seeds ordered at the same time from the same place. So I've got less shipping involved and handling charge and silly stuff like that. In this case, I bought all my seeds from M.I. Gardener. And these are the 2 carrots that I'm going to try. I'm going to plant 2 buckets of each. One's a Scarlet Nantes and one's a Royal Chutney. Okay? Now, these are just, now we'll know. If these are any of the, I kind of suspicion that Scarlet Nantes may have been the right variety. Next year I'll know. So next year I'll go straight to that variety because I'm going to look back in my book and see. So, or if neither one of these are good, I know I don't want to buy either one of these. I want to try other varieties. So anyhow, that's some good reasons to do what I do, and it's enjoyable. On a winter day, I'm sitting at my table with my phone and my notebook, deciding what I want to plant, where I want to put it, making the list and ordering my seeds, and recording all this in the book. And I don't think I've ever turned around and said, I kind of wasted that hour. I don't think I've ever said it once. I think every minute of doing that has paid off for me and done really well. When I think of mistakes that I made other years in doing this, like waiting a little too long, trying to order the seeds a week or 2 before I need them, and then finding out when I go to order that, hey, that variety's sold out. Or turning around and, oh, I forgot to order this and this. Well, now I got to place another little order. I get another little shipping charge, where I would have had just one shipping charge and got it all at once. So that's what I'm doing. Now, like I say, I this year I ordered from M.I. Gardener. Reason being, his packs are not very big, but I'm not planting a big garden. I'm planting a little garden. I want ongoing stuff to eat through the summer. I'm not looking to can for the winter. But just to have some fun and fresh items and different items on our summer table. So that the packs are plenty big enough for what I'm doing. Some of them are bigger than I really need. For instance, the squash, well, heck, on a cattle panel, I'm probably going to plant, 3 plants on each side. Well, gosh, I got a pack of seeds is 25. So let's say I put 2 in the pot at once and then thin them later, I've only used 6 seeds out of that pack. They're going to be okay for next year if I want them again, if they're a good variety. So that's some reasons. Rotation's a good reason. Saving yourself a little hassle and making sure I get everything I need when I need it. I've got it put away ahead. As you can see, I ordered mine around the 1st of January. That's a good time to do it. And I've got my seeds. They're right here. I can store them away, and what's left over, and I can use it for next year. So that's kind of the gist of it. One more note on varieties. If you're a young gardener and you maybe only gardened a year or 2, or maybe this is your first year. If you gardened for a year or 2, you probably had some items that worked really well and grew really well, and some that didn't do very well, and you really kind of wanted that item. One resource you can use is go to your state university, if they have an ag program, which most of them probably do. If there's any agriculture at all in that state, there's got to be an ag program somewhere. Well, ours runs a list of best varieties for your vegetable garden, the best grow in our area. So that's an easy resource for me to access, and it's free. And if I'm that beginning gardener, that might be what I want to do. I've been at this for a spell. So I decided on tomatoes, I'm gonna try this bicolor tomato called Hillbilly. It's pretty. But I have pretty good luck with tomatoes, and I've done it for years. But if I'm a beginning gardener, maybe I don't want to do that. If I'm a beginning gardener, maybe I want to start with something that's a kind of more of a guaranteed success in my area. Well, all right. That's kind of how I do what I do and why I do it. And so I'm going to kind of leave you with that. And I want you all to have a quality day.